Hello, welcome to Soul Centered Millionaire TV, episode 14. Episode 14 already. We have had a few breaks since starting the series though, when I was away on vacay. We went to Vietnam, Cambodia, so there were a few weeks where we missed a couple of episodes, but I can't believe it's been 14 weeks or more. So if you're brand new to Soul Centered Millionaire TV, you've never logged into a live series before, or maybe you're watching on replay even, then let me just quickly give you the rundown. Soul Centered Millionaire TV is all about business strategy, no bullshit business strategy, meets a little bit of magic, alignment, manifestation, soul-centered work, because that's really what I'm about. Building businesses, making money, but doing it in alignment with a way that serves the world. And that's what my clients are all about too. And every week I come here to talk about strategies that I've implemented personally and taught lots of other people to implement in building a millionaire style business without having to sell your soul, make massive sacrifices like time with your family, work 100 hours a week and maybe sacrifice your happiness. And that's what today is all about. So I'm seeing people get logged in, so guys, let me know you're here by saying hey Edmonda, hey Anita, who else has said hello, just so we don't miss anyone. Who else we got? Hey Amber, hey Sasha, how you doing? So give me a hashtag live if you're live, but also let me know if you're watching on replay, because that's handy information for me to know who's managing to catch live and who's not. I'd love you to share something else with me. So I had a bit of an experience on the weekend that was it's quite comical actually, and I'll share it with you here, we're amongst friends. But I decided to do something on the weekend that I've not done for a really long time. And what inspired me was, last weekend we went out on a bike ride. One of the things I have to watch about myself is being too task focused, too goal orientated, and not just doing stuff because I want to do it and because it's fun and because, you know, I don't have to have a reason. Sometimes I can be too serious. So we were out on this really long bike ride last week. I decided I wanted to do like 25 miles on the bike. Typical me, not doing things by halves, like not really got much experience riding a bike, not overly fit, but decided that what I was doing, that's what we were going to do. So James and I are there riding across the beach. Hey Mel, hey Melanie. Riding across the beachfront, and we stopped for a break and to get some water, and on the beach was this, picture this, beautiful specimen of a woman. Like, she was gorgeous. She was perfectly hourglass shaped, berry brown, perfectly perked boobs, no top on, topless, just totally like at one with nature, totally comfortable in her own skin. Hey Carolyn. And totally present. She looked like she was floating across the freaking sand, literally, like she's walking along, hair swishing in the wind. And I'm sat drinking the water like a sweating hot mess because I've just been cycling across the front with like my joggers on and my trainers, looking at her thinking, fuck me, she looks calm and serene in a way that I don't right now. And then she sat on the sand and like and then she lay down on the sand and she got like a bare body, hey Lois, all over the sand. She's then she rolled around onto her front and she sat like this, just lying on the sand. Now I'm so serious sometimes that I wouldn't lie on the sand, because I'd be like, oh no, I'll get sand everywhere, I need to put a towel down, or I need to have a bed, or oh, it'll be irritating, or, you know, I'd overthink it. And I have to watch this about myself. And I was looking at her, learning a lot from her without even talking to her, thinking, look at her, she's half naked, rolling around in the sand, not giving a shit if it ends up her bum crack or whatever. Like, she's not concerning herself with all that shit. She looks really, really at peace and present and at one with nature, and that looks like a nice place to be. And then her gorgeous partner walks over and she's laying in the sand, like just with the sea, just kind of brushing her feet and her legs. He goes over and gives her a kiss and starts feeding her these strawberries that he's just had delivered to his table. And I was like, oh my God, this is just too perfect of a scene. I need to have a beach day. I need to have a day where, and I decided in that moment, I'm gonna have a day where I am totally that person. I am going to be at one with the sea and the sand, and I'm going to ride around in it, and I'm not going to care about it going up my bum and all of that stuff that I'd concern myself with. And I'm going to just chill out, just because that's what I want to do, with no agenda, no goals, no nothing. I'm just going to be. I'm going to take my book, and I haven't had a beach day for ages because everything's become so you know, I've got the weekend off, so I'm going to go and do something, see something, or achieve something, or I'm not going to do that this weekend. I'm just going to be. So I was inspired by this woman. So I went to the beach on yesterday. So I spent the day at the beach yesterday, and I went down to the sea, and I thinking about this woman, and I was like, right, so just like sit in the sand. So I sat in the sand, right in front of the sea. Hey, Leah. And I'm sat kind of like this, thinking, yeah, I can do this. I'm not bothered about the sun being up my bum or anything. Like, I'm just going to be present and peaceful and calm and not worry about anything. And this huge fuck off wave comes and literally takes me out. I don't know where it come from, because the few before that had just been like, you know, quite mild and tame and just washed over my legs, and this one just belted me in the face, knocked me backwards. I can't start coughing and spluttering, and I was like, what the fuck? All this image I'd got in my head of being just like that woman. Reality is nothing like that. It was like when you watch, you know, when you watch those YouTube videos and you watch people doing their makeup. I don't know if you've ever done this, but like, because I don't wear that makeup that often, I'll watch YouTube videos sometimes. I'm like, right, let's transform. And then at the end of the video, she looks a certain way and I look a certain way, and they never look the fucking same. That was me on the beach on Sunday. So I thought I'd share that with you. But here's what I wanted to say. My point of it was, before we jump into the training, despite looking less than glamorous and being hit by a wave and choking, I did have a really, really nice day, because I just decided to do something I hadn't done for a really long time, and it didn't have to be expensive or it didn't have to be difficult to do. It was just simple, as simple as just lying on the beach all day and drinking a beer and having an ice cream, and just not having rules that I can't eat this and I can't eat that, but just being. And it was a lot of fun. So I would love to know from you, what have you not done, before we dive into the training, what have you not done for a long time? Leah, something like that would happen to me. So what have you not done for a long time that you're going to make a point of doing, or even that you'd like to do? Just put it out there. Like, what have you not done for a really long time that you've not made time to do? Or maybe what have you never done? Like, maybe like this woman was, as I said, topless and just kind of being at peace and not worrying that anyone was looking at her or anything. She's totally present. Maybe you've never done that. Maybe you've never had the body confidence to just strut across the beach topless. Like, what have you never done or haven't done for a long time that you love doing that would make you feel alive? Type it in the chat box. Sat by a river reading a book. Carolyn, do it. Do you know, whenever I ask questions like this, it's always those really simple things that come up. Like, we neglect ourselves from the most simple things, because normally the most simple things have the biggest impact on our emotional and mental well-being. Yoga, do it, Lois. I love yoga. So let's dive into the training while you guys are sharing all that with me. And if you're on replay, share it anyway, because I read all the comments. So what I'm going to share with you today is the answer to a question that I get asked all the time. And that is a question that causes a lot of overwhelm, it causes a lot of confusion, and it also brings up a lot of fear in people. Like, what business should I run and go into that's going to be just right for me? Because there's so many ways to make money, online, offline. We're living in an age of the entrepreneur. It's never been easier to make a shit ton of money, we know this, but there's also never been so much information out there about how we could make money. So it can lead to a lot of what I call analysis paralysis. And it's a term that I stole from Denise Duffield Thomas, because it just puts it perfectly. Like, oh, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. So we end up doing nothing, or we end up spreading ourselves too thin and doing a bit of everything and not really mastering anything, and therefore never really creating the success that we can. But also, you know, you might be in a stage in your business where you're like, I've been in business for a while, I'm not starting from scratch and thinking about what business model I could do, but I've done other businesses, I'm in that transition period, and now I'm thinking my next move needs to be one that I really, really focus on and get results with. So I want it to be right. So you could be brand new, you could be going through a bit of a transition and change. Either way, this question's going to be coming up for you, and you're probably in that place where you're like seeing different things that you could be doing everywhere and taking inspiration from lots of different people, and probably ending up feeling like paralysed by analysis. So what we're going to do today is go over what I believe are the 5 types of business models that you could adopt right now and make money. The pros and cons, and also who it's a fit for and who it might not be a fit for. And I have a name for each of these 5 types of business models, and I'll talk you through what they are, the differences between them, and give you an idea of what might be right for you. So, number 1, replaying later on, no problem, Lizzie. So, number 1 is what I call the bricks and mortar business. So this is the traditional business. I've got some notes here so we don't miss anything. This is the traditional business, you know, it's the business where you've got a premises and your clients stroke customers need to visit that premises to receive your product or service. So I had a restaurant many years ago. That was a bricks and mortar business. Having the restaurant taught me that bricks and mortar business wasn't for me, mainly because I'm so driven by freedom and travel that it's just not a fit. Not that you can't have a life of freedom and travel with a bricks and mortar business, you can, but only when it's totally leveraged, and it takes a little bit of time to get it there, because you've got to have systems, procedures, policies, people that are fully trained in place to run that business for you. That means you can take yourself out of it, and that doesn't happen overnight. But you've also got to go into that business with that in mind. You can't make yourself the business. You can't make yourself the person that knows everything or that does things differently all the time, because then no one can copy you and you end up removing yourself from the business and it blows up. So, but that's true for any business. That's not just true for a mixed bricks and mortar business. That's true for any business. And this is a mistake actually that a lot of people make in the online world, thinking that they've got to treat it differently to a bricks and mortar business. You haven't. You've got to treat it in many respects exactly the same when it comes to scaling and leveraging. If you're just going to start an online business and become the service, and you can't make money unless you're doing X, Y, Z, then you're making a rod for your own back. But bricks and mortar businesses, also another common misconception is that a lot of the digital marketing stuff and the online world doesn't apply to bricks and mortar businesses. It absolutely does, because why would you not? You know, your client might need to come to your establishment to receive the product or service, but why would you not drive a shit ton more of them to your establishment using online digital marketing techniques? Like, why would you not do that? So I think this is a mistake that I see. The flip side of is that I see a lot of people separating them in their mind and going, well, that's traditional business and this is what I do. It's not the same. It is in so many ways. Or I run a traditional business, therefore that stuff I'm seeing online doesn't apply to my business and actually won't be able to teach me anything to make my business better. Again, not true, because actually business is business. And I've had bricks and mortar businesses, online businesses, and probably everything that's on this list that I'm going to go through with you now. And I can tell you that they're all pretty much the same when it comes to the operations behind it and how you make them successful. Now, the pros and cons of a bricks and mortar business, the first thing is that they're great for people that like to go to work and come back from work. You know, if you like to leave your house, hi Elizabeth, if you like to leave your house, go to work, leave work, come back home and leave work at the door as much as you possibly can when it's your own business, then bricks and mortar businesses can be great for you, because there's a more natural structure there. So people that don't have enormous amounts of discipline yet, and I say yet because discipline isn't, you're not born with it, you develop it. But if you're someone that struggles with discipline and you get distracted easily, you know, online businesses, working from home can be a nightmare for someone to navigate at first. So it can be easier to establish productive routines in a bricks and mortar business. The other benefit of this type of business model is that it's area specific. So you can determine what you offer by your market demographic much easier in an area specific bricks and mortar business, because you know buying trends, you know competitors by just looking. You know, it's easier to do market research in a smaller radius, whereas online, for example, you're looking at the whole world. So you've got to look at a much bigger, you've got to have a much bigger vision. So sometimes starting off with a bricks and mortar business for that reason can be easier to get your head around business, because you're starting much smaller demographics, smaller markets, smaller research, smaller everything. And then when you do transition at some point online and you're looking at it from a much larger perspective, it's easier to do. The other thing is the right premises in a bricks and mortar business in the right location can be just a really fucking quick win. Like, you don't have to have much knowledge to get it right. Like, for example, I could go down to our local town that's by the sea in a holiday destination, and I could see a property for let that's right on the beachfront, let it out, sell ice cream, and pretty certain that as long as I'm not a complete idiot about it, I'm going to make money in the summer when all the tourists hit, just from passing trade and supply and demand on something really, really basic. It can be super, super easy to make money in that way. But the flip side of that, and one of the negatives of a bricks and mortar business, or can be, is the startup costs are far higher, obviously, which means so is your risk. And if you're a new entrepreneur looking to keep your startup costs as low as you possibly can, and your overheads as high as they can possibly be, bricks and mortar business might feel really scary, because actually you're investing in premises, you might have to refurbish that premises, you might need staff, so it can start to stack up really, really quickly, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get any bigger return on your investment for that outlay either. So that can feel quite scary. And the other negative can be that they can be quite restrictive in terms of lifestyle, because you've got to be in a certain place at a certain time to work on your business or in your business, depending on where you're at. But it can also be restrictive financially, because if you're working to a budget, it's like anything, isn't it? When you're first starting out, if money isn't in an abundant flow right now and you are just starting out, that's natural. You know, what entrepreneur really starts out in their first business rolling in wealth unless they've inherited? Not very many. So we have to make smart investments, and you can feel quite restricted when you've got a bricks and mortar business in investing in some other things that are really important, like you, because the person behind the business is always the most important. You can have the best businesses, the best premises, the best location with the best product, but if the person running it isn't prepared to work on themselves and become the entrepreneur they need to have the success, then it doesn't mean it's going to succeed. So it can force you into a position where you're spending on the business rather than being able to invest in you and your knowledge and the support you might need to get it right. So you become limited. The second type of business model that could be an option for you is what I call the creative model. And this is a business where you make something and sell it for a profit. So this could be, for example, you could be an artist creating your own masterpieces and then selling them, or you could really love creating candles, or maybe like health and wellness products. There's a lady actually just up the road from me who I met out on a dog walk, who we got chatting about what she did, and she runs a business in natural products that she makes at home. This is what I call a creative business. So it's your product, you make it, and you sell it on for a profit. Now, most people will sell these things on places like Etsy. And actually, this model is becoming more and more popular to combine a creative model with like a subscription-based model, which is really quite smart. So, for example, if you sell personal care products, or, yeah, Amber, we'll take your lashes, like your lashes. So if you sell your lashes, you can combine that with a subscription model, so that your consumer signs up to a subscription with you, not just a one-off purchase of the lashes. So they pay X amount a month and they get X amount of cases of lashes delivered every single month on automation. So you know, as the business owner, how many customers you've got, what the volume of your business every month is predictably, because they're on a subscription, therefore what the profit is, what the workload is, and it just makes your business a lot more predictable. So that's that's what a lot of creative style businesses are opting to do where possible. Hey Chloe, hey Vicky. So the pros and cons of having this type of business is that the pros, first of all, is you don't have to buy into the whole, oh, I'm a creative, so my penance for being a creative is that I have to be broke forever, because it's not true. Now, the digital age, moving products, commanding the attention of your consumer and being able to get the products noticed by them and then in the hands of them has never been easier. It's in the palm of your hand, like it is with any business. But this business is no different. So you can use the enhancements and learn how to use things like social media, digital marketing, etc., to push this product more feasibly than it's ever been to be able to do that. And the other thing is that the subscription model now gives you that consistency in your workload and income, so it doesn't have to be unpredictable anymore. But it can be difficult to scale, and it can be difficult to scale if you are the only person that can make the product, and that's where you need to be really careful. You need to be able to make that product in a way that can be trained so that other people can be trained to make it, so you can scale up, but also they need to be able to make it consistently the way you do. This is what made McDonald's so freaking awesome. It wasn't necessarily the burger, although I think it tastes great. Like, I love a good Big Mac. I don't have it very often, but I do like it. It's not necessarily that makes it awesome, though. It's not necessarily the amazing brand in the world, but it was the systems. It was that franchise model of being able to duplicate that exact process across each McDonald's, and the burger tastes the same every time, and the chips taste the same every time. That's brand consistency, and it's so important, because if you don't have brand consistency, then people don't trust you, and if they don't trust you, they don't buy from you, or they don't buy again, because it's a jarring experience. That's not what I got last time. I'm not having it again, even if they liked it both times. If it's different, it creates a distrust in the consumer. So you have to be able to not only train someone to do it, but train them how to do it in the exact same way that you do it, so that you've got that brand consistency. So that can be a hazard of the creative model. The third type of business model that you might adapt is the affiliate marketing or network marketing, or MLM stroke model, which is where you sell somebody else's product or service. So it's not yours. You haven't had to create it, you haven't had to make it, you haven't had to go through all of the stuff that comes with creating your own product, and you also don't have to really take care of distributing it, because good companies will have a distribution system in place to distribute it for you. So this opportunity is really common with people starting out in business, because it also means that you can, with a network marketing company, build teams. So you don't just get the opportunity to move product, but you can build teams of people that you take a commission on when they move product as well. So it means that you can leverage your time through people easily. So this cuts out you needing to have a strategy in place for product development and distribution, which logistically is a very complex part of setting up a business, and a daunting one. So that can be really attractive. Also, in network marketing, you get the opportunity to work alongside people that want you to succeed and learn from them, because you're going to fall into someone else's team, because that opportunity to team build is there. When you become recruited into that company, you have an opportunity to develop your own team, but the person that you're in the team of wants to see you win, because they get paid when you do. So it's in everybody's interest for everybody else to win. So it does cultivate a really nice environment. And it also means that a lot of this training and self-development and business knowledge and being able to learn from successful people comes for free. So you get to tap into a lot of really awesome personal development for free. But you don't have much control over this type of business as you would over other businesses, because it's not your product, so you can't change it. And if someone changes it for you, you have no control over that. If they take it off sale, your business becomes compromised, and it's a decision that you didn't make. You have no control over that. But equally, if you're building teams, like you get training for free and support for free, you give training and support for free to your new team members. And time is money. You can never guarantee that those team members are going to do anything with that time and support. Some will, some won't. That's the nature of the beast. But it means that your income's unpredictable, because you don't know who's going to, who's not going to, and you don't, there's a lot that's out of your control. So network marketing is a really great business model for people who want really low setup costs and are prepared to make up in time, blood, sweat and tears, what they didn't invest in money to start a business. The fourth type of business is a service stroke support led business model. So this is where you are providing a service to somebody, like for example, a coach or consultant that's providing a service that gives a tangible result. So it might be one-to-one coaching for you to achieve more confidence, one-to-one coaching for you to develop the strength to leave a relationship. It might be relationship coaching. It might be using neuro-linguistic programming to help someone kick a bad habit. It's tangible and it's delivered by an individual, generally, that service. So it might even be spiritual coaching. It might be a done-for-you service, like you might be a web designer who specialises in sales funnels, and you create sales funnels for people that don't want to create them for themselves. So they pay you, you deliver the work, it's tangible, it's a service or support system. So it's a very hands-on model. This is great for people that love the nitty-gritty of the work that they do. You know, they love the human connection or seeing personal transformation. It's for the web designer that loves to design the websites, or it's, you know, it's super, super hands-on. It's great for people just starting out as well, because you can work really closely with your ideal clients that you've maybe never worked with before, which means you get to see the things that come up as a common trend and pattern. You get to see where they struggle. You get to see the pain, the problems, and work through it and understand the clients on a level that you haven't yet had the privilege to, which is really valuable information should you decide to leverage that and go on and do something that's more leveraged. Because the one thing with the service-based or support-based model is that because it's so hands-on, you are exchanging time for money in some way. It might be a little bit of time, or it might be a lot of time, but you're exchanging time for money in some way. And it can be leveraged with having people in place that maybe deliver the service for you, or having systems in place that do some of it for you. But somewhere along the line, if you're delivering a service, a tangible result, you're exchanging time for money. Which leads me to the last one, the fifth type of business, which is my favourite, and that's the information-led business. And this is where you monetize information, things that you know, skills that you have already, existing skills, talents, knowledge. You monetize that in exchange, you monetize that information. This is my favourite, it doesn't have to be yours. So just because it's my favourite doesn't mean that's the one you've got to go for. This is about working out what's right for you, what fits your personality type. You know, we might be totally different, we might enjoy different things, have different strengths, and it's absolutely about playing to your strengths. But yes, Chloe, exactly. So in the exchange of information, you might be monetizing online courses, online programs, books. You might be sharing knowledge from a stage or in a group environment. It's about stepping into the shoes of the teacher and trainer. So you're sharing information with people in a really specific way that adds value. So the information model sees you less coaching, consulting, delivering a service, and more training and teaching people. You might have a subscription model that fits under this, where people pay monthly to receive information from you. It might be a group where people receive group information from some sort of online program, but they get an opportunity to ask you questions, for example. It might be that you run retreats where for 3 days you share and teach information for 3 days straight. It's short, sharp, and then it's done, and that's it. Now, I believe wholeheartedly that anybody can create $1 million business from scratch using the information that they already have, because the information you have that you take for granted is valuable to somebody else, always. Oh, thanks, Chloe, that's really good to know. So it's also never been easier right now for anybody to set up and do this, because we have the internet, because we have really amazing social media sites like Facebook and Instagram that we didn't have to create, but that we can use as vessels to get the attention of our ideal client, to mean that we can then show them how we can share information with them or a service with them to answer or provide a solution to a problem that they're having. And anybody can do that. Can we do retreats from our house? Yeah, that might be your model if that's something you feel like you'd enjoy doing. Now, this model helps you to help people in a more hands-off way by creating an environment for them to learn but do things for themselves. So it might be a group program where they can ask you questions, but the majority of the learning is done by themselves. Now, you might decide to combine a couple of these models, and that's okay too. You haven't got to put yourself in a box and say, this is what I am and this is what I do, and therefore I can't do any of the others. You could do a mixture of 2 or 3 that best suit your objectives for your life and for your business. So you might have a one-to-one, personalised, premium offer alongside a self-study version for people who can't quite afford your time but want to get their hands on the information that you've got. Or you might have a subscription model where people pay monthly to receive your information, like your how-to guides on how to do something, but then you might have a premium offer where you do it for them. There's no right or wrong answer. So I'm going to recap the 5 types of business that you could set up, and then I'm going to give you some hints and tips on how to best establish what's right for you. So bricks and mortar business, where you've got premises, people come to the premises to receive your product or service. Second is the creative business, where you are creating the product yourself. It's something physical that you're creating, developing and selling for a profit. Third is affiliate or network marketing, where you're selling somebody else's product or service and potentially having the opportunity to build a team of people that do the same and get paid. Then you've got the service type support model, where you're providing a support or service to somebody, like a done-for-you package, tangible result-led business. Or then you've got information-led businesses, where you share information with people, like self-study courses, programs, books, speaking, etc. That's more hands-off. That means you can reach and help more people, and it can be more passive. Or a combination. So here's what I'd be asking myself. If I was in a position now where you might be, where you're thinking, am I running the best business model for me right now? Or I'm about to set up a business and I'm not quite sure what the best model is to start from scratch because I want to get it right first time. Or I've been in business for a while and I feel like it's time for a change, but I'm not quite sure what that looks like. Here's some questions I'd ask with those 5 business models in mind. What excites you? I got attacked by a mosquito then. I've been bit to shit on my legs recently, so I'm like paranoid about mosquitoes. What excites you? When I was talking through those 5 things, what really excited you the most? You don't have to feel bad about what excites you. Don't think, oh, I want to be more hands-off because I don't want to work one-to-one with people because I don't really like people that much. Fine, that's okay. Don't attach any shame to your wants. Want what you want and want it with pride and build a model that fits it. Also, I'd be asking myself, what meets my lifestyle goals? Like when I think about the big vision for my life in the future that really lights me up and makes me feel really like at my happiest, what does that big vision look like? What am I spending my time doing? Where am I? Like if you identify that you're traveling the world and homeschooling your children and just letting them see the world and that be their education and making them cultured and spending your time on a cruise ship, you're not going to go into bricks and mortar business. It's mindless too. But people do this all the time. They start building the business before they've really decided what it means to build a life. Avon Skin So Soft, the Mozzies hate it. So many people have told me that, Lisa. I need to go on Amazon and get me some. Thank you for reminding me that. So think about that. What do I want for my life when you think choosing the right model for you? And then also, what am I really good at? What are my strengths? Because when I'm coaching someone or mentoring them in my coaching program, the one thing I'm looking to establish really quickly is what's going to be the path of least resistance. Not what's going to be the most difficult. Let's not look at your weaknesses and weaknesses and look at how we need to change you. But let's look at what you already do naturally and kill it, so that you probably won't know about yourself actually. So you might have to ask other people as well. But I take people through exercises that really pulls out their strengths. And then we look at that and go, how can we maximise these strengths and leverage your income and life and business really, really quickly? Because actually we're going to get way quicker results from looking at your strengths than we are from worrying about your weaknesses. So what model best incorporates your strengths? If you love to train and you love to do this and be on camera and share information with people, then you're probably going to find that your zone of genius is in the information. You might not love it because it frightens you. It frightened me at first, and you might evolve as time goes on. Oh, me too, not long now. It might evolve, like as time goes on. I've evolved more into my zone of genius being the information, whereas I used to feel that my zone of genius was more the service. But as I've developed as a coach and my information and knowledge has increased, I've found that it's much easier to share information than it is to work with people on a one-to-one, because I can get them the same results by sharing information in a certain way. Jodie, information, teaching, inspiring. Brilliant. And it's about knowing that about you and being, not just okay with it, but embracing it and saying, what can I do with this? You know, and going after the business model that feels right for you, not trying to make yourself do something that doesn't feel a fit. So remember, one of my early business coaches said to me, if you remember nothing else from working with me, Michelle, remember KISS. And that stood for Keep It Simple, Stupid. Because the simplicity is always the genius behind any business model. We are so tempted all of the time to make things complicated, because if it's complicated, we feel more worthy of the results or the success that can be on the other end of it. It needs to feel difficult for me to feel like I'm getting somewhere. I need to overcomplicate it and make it feel like a challenge for me to feel like I'm on the way to $1 million. I can tell you that building $1 million business was simple. It wasn't always easy, but it was simple. Josie, I'm super excited too. Not long now either. You and Carolyn are starting at the same time. So yeah, it was super simple, because it has to be. Simplest way to success is the route we should always be taking. It doesn't have to be difficult. It shouldn't have to be difficult. The path of least resistance is what I'm all about. I'm not lazy, but I do like life. I love life. I love lying on the beach. And as I was telling you at the beginning of this video, you might have missed it and not know what I'm talking about. But even when I'm getting hit by waves and being really unglamorous and sprawled out on the beach like I've been washed up, I love that. I love spending time with my family. I love taking long walks. I love going on holiday. I love doing all of these things. So the path of least resistance for me was a non-negotiable. I knew if I'm going to build a business and become a millionaire, I'm going to do it without sacrificing the things that I love in my life, because otherwise it's not worth having at all for me. Because one day I'll be on my deathbed, and I mean, not to be morbid, but it's true. One day I'll be on my deathbed and I'll look back and there's one thing I know for certain that I will not say. I will not say I wish I'd have worked more. I will not say I wish I'd have earned more. But I might say I wish I'd have lived more. So for me, having a millionaire style business meant having an absolute millionaire style lifestyle, in that it needed to come as easily and as freely as possible, or else I wasn't having it at all. And that's what I'm all about when it comes to my coaching style as well. Yes, we've got to do things that scare us. Yes, we've got to do things that make us feel uncomfortable. Yes, sometimes you fucking hate me when you work with me, because I'll call you out when you're being, when you're kind of stuck in struggle, and when you're talking bullshit, and when you're in resistance. I'll tell you. It's not always easy. It's not always an easy process, but we don't need to make strategy difficult. We make it difficult enough with our mindset and all the limiting beliefs and emotions and all that shit that comes up. We don't need to make the strategy difficult, which is one of the reasons that I developed the freedom formula for female entrepreneurs, because it should be about freedom. I honestly believe we were put on this earth to live an extraordinary life, to enjoy life, to find happiness and fulfillment. I think, you know, that's everybody's goal, really. To love, to feel fulfilled and be happy. So That's what the Freedom Formula is about, my new training. It's about developing a business that means you can still have a life. Developing a business with a simple strategy that works and working the strategy. So if you want to get your hands on that, it's above. I've put it above for you in the links. It's about 45 minutes. You get instant access to it. It's totally free for you. And it gives you some really tangible tips and how-to strategies on what you can do today to implement to get a really, really great result in your life and business. So download that above. It's going to prompt you in there as well as you download it towards the end of the training. It's going to talk to you about booking a strategy call with me or my team, availability dependent. And what that means is you jump on a call with me to talk about the fact that you're ready to go to the next level and how am I going to get there, Michelle, help me, is the basis of the call. But what we're talking about is how I can help you within one of my coaching programs, not just for free on a 45-minute call because out of the goodness of my heart I want to help you. I do, but I'm running a business as well, obviously. So in that call, if you book it, don't be surprised that I'm asking you now to be ready to put your money where your mouth is, invest in yourself and work with me as your coach, or there's no point in coming on the call, because that's really what the call's about, and I'm really upfront with that. I've got no availability for coaching at the moment. You can see some of the ladies that are getting started in the Wealth Accelerator in our May enrolment, which is now closed because it's full. So we'd be looking at a later enrolment. So if you need a little bit of time to get your shit together financially to do it, you've got that. So there's nothing stopping you from booking a call. So as you go through the Freedom Formula, it's going to give you the option to book that call with me or the team. So if you feel like, you know what, I'm ready to apply myself to one of these business models, even if you don't know what it is yet, and you want premium level support to just cut out the mistakes that you might make on your own, fast track your success, be held accountable and get your hands on the strategies that are going to help you do it and do it quickly, then fill in the form and get a call booked in. And I think that's everything. I've tried to open it 3 times. I know, I had an email about that today from my VA that said she'd spoke to you, Carolyn. I don't know why you're not able to open it, because I've not had any more reports. I know you've been asked to send an email to my team, support team, tech support. So hopefully you've already said that. If not, drop them a message. They're dead quick. They'll come back to you really quickly. I don't know if I've missed any comments, so I'm going to leave it and go back over them in a bit, because I might have. Thanks for listening, guys. Episode 14 already. I'll see you next week for episode 15 if I don't speak to you before on a strategy call.